Austin is drafting at that 3 spot. Appreciate you being in here, brother.
Are you shitting me, Johnny?
Right here. What's up? Before we get you guys to your show, to this mock draft, just want to remind you, if your draft is coming up and you're cramming and you're panicking, Fantasy Whisperers got you. Just head on over to the fantasywhisperers.com or check the link in the bio. Grab our draft kit, over 120 pages, packed full of everything you're going to need for your draft. We got sleepers, we got busts, we got breakouts, we got consistency charts. Every single thing that you need to dominate your draft, we have it in the draft kit for a low price of just $15. So make sure you go on over and grab that. And as well as subscribe to our channel, we'll help you win that championship this year. All right, let's get you to that video.
Oh, here's a real burner, Johnny.
Oh, what is it?
This is real earth-shattering news here. Oh, hold on. We've got something right here.
Wait, earth-shattering?
I think Evan's going to join us. We'll just pop him in right now.
That was the news? That was what you...
Hey, Evan.
Hey, Evan.
What's up, dude?
How's it going, man?
All right, I'm going to... I just got to
make sure we got
fix
you here.
this here.
Sorry I'm late. I agreed to go to the grocery store with my 78-year-old neighbor, and let's just say he didn't move quickly.
Yeah, well, he's lucky to have you. First of all, that was great that you were able to do that with him.
And then he bought $59 worth of stuff, and I bought like $159 worth of stuff.
Oh,
it always works out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and he got more stuff than me, but paid $59 for it.
Hey, you should have been taking some notes on his strategy there. Like, how are you doing this?
Did he have coupons? Did he have the coupons?
Oh, you know he did.
No,
wow.
Okay.
Hilarious though.
Yeah. Sitting there at the checkout clipping those coupons out. That'd be great.
Right.
Well, Evan, we just want to say thank you so much, man, for hopping in here. This is our 2nd annual mock draft marathon. We do 24 hours of continuous mock drafting. I don't know why we do it, but this year we were able to hop you on or bring you on here, and we're really excited about that. We're going to do this 12-team PPR with you. I noticed you put the 101. Was that just to pick it, or have you been liking the 101 spot in drafts?
I do. I like the 101 and the. Are we recording yet?
Yeah, we're on. You're here.
Okay, great. Yeah, I do like the 101. I like the 101, and then the furthest I can get in the back. I think that those are my preferred positions this year. I hate the middle.
Just not finding the value, which is kind of strange to me. I don't know if you can kind of speak on this. I've felt in previous years that you get a lot of value in the middle. Like
yes.
you could pick from runs that are happening, but you just have not been seeing that this year.
No, it's mainly because how the first round usually plays out. Is there something that I can retweet here?
Yeah. So we tagged you in a tweet about the mock draft itself. I can send you the link.
GF Whisperers. What should I come mock with us and Evan Silva? You can watch the live draft here?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
But yeah, no, it's how the first round plays out, because I love getting any of the top 5 RBs, including Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook. But then in the 6, 7, 8 range, I would say it starts to become no man's land. You might draft for, say you're in tight end premium, you might look at Kelsey or Kittle. Say you're in, you're looking at Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas, and then you're already behind, because of the running back thirst this year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I heard you mention that on your guys' recent podcast. For those of you guys watching, this is Evan Silva. He's with Establish the Run now. Spent a lot of years at Roto-World, right, Evan? And now you're over. You guys co-started. You and Adam Levithan started Levitan. Sorry, started Establish the Run. Appreciate you correcting me there. Needed that one. And then started Establish the Run, and that's a great subscription. If you guys aren't, we've got those links within our YouTube bio there. So make sure you guys are checking those out. So without further ado, Johnny, I think we can start this draft.
Let's go.
All right.
Begin.
All right, how many rounds we got here? I didn't even look at the rules. I'm sorry, guys.
You're okay. So we are doing 13 rounds. So we took out defense and kickers just because we always say take those very last, if at all. And So 13 rounds. We are doing the roster is a quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex.
Can you say that one more time?
1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. That could be.
And it's half PPR,
and
right?
It's full PPR.
Full PPR.
Okay, it's full PPR.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this, I'm glad you brought this up, Silva, because this is a great point that we like to say. Make sure you always check your league settings before you draft.
I would have. My parents are in town. I'm just
No,
I'm
you're
finishing a move, and that there was a big thing that happened last night. Darius Geis that kind of took up all my
wild. We were talking about that just
huge.
a little bit ago.
I'm taking Christian McCaffrey here, obviously, and then we are going to go to 102. So we start out with Christian McCaffrey. So there's 3 wide receiver spots and a flex spot in full PPR. This is a good format to go a little wide receiver heavy, but obviously, you know, I think when you're drafting the top 5, you got to take one of those top 5 backs, I think, and maybe even Derrick Henry as the number 6. I just think that you got to lock in those running backs.
Yeah. So after you took out Christian McCaffrey, then went Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley. I took Alvin Kamara. Then we had Dalvin Cook come off the board.
Very chalky first 5 picks.
Yeah, really surprising there. Not that especially in the PPR, I felt like I had to go Kamara. Michael Thomas was tempting, but I think Kamara is going to have a huge bounce back year. His running back coach has talked about his back and ankle injuries and how he really wasn't at 100% at all last year. So I'm really excited about the AK bounce back this year. Mm-hmm. Evan, I wanted to pick your brain about the Christian McCaffrey over Saquon at the 1-1. We've heard a lot about that in our chats and like in our DMs. And we were saying, it's hard to repeat at the 1 overall. And so it would be smart maybe to take Saquon. But I think, especially in this full point PPR, it's hard to not take CMC, correct?
Yeah, and I think that the way that they're building the offense in Carolina really is, they're going to play up-tempo. We saw what Clyde Edwards-Helaire did under the OC Joe Brady there now. Full confidence in Christian McCaffrey. I understand that history that the RB1 typically does not repeat, but, I think that
if there's going to be a guy, it's probably CMC, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
right. He's an absolute monster. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a guy that I think in most of the recent drafts that I've done has been going top 7, top 8. So he should probably go within these first 2 picks.
Do you think that's valid?
Yeah, I do. I haven't been doing that, but I get it.
Yeah.
I understand it. But back to McCaffrey versus Saquon, and then the offensive environment in New York, I think, is a little bit suspect. You got Jason Garrett, who loves to play slow and to try to protect and hide his defense. And the Giants very much have a defense that is going to need to be protected and hidden. So I think that there's just not quite as much upside, I think, with Saquon Barkley due to the offensive environment. Now, Saquon Barkley is my 1.2 pick, so it's not like I'm down on him. But that's I think the separation between McCaffrey and Saquon.
Yeah. So after Dalvin Cook went Michael Thomas, then CEH, as Evan was explaining about the CEH going within that top 7 range. That makes sense there. Then Derrick Henry at the 108, Joe Mixon behind us on jersey. We got Devontae Adams coming off the board. Kind of wanted to ask you, Evan, if you had a dark horse league winner this year that you've been eyeing. Doesn't obviously would be out of the first few rounds, but somebody running back, wide receiver that you've been coming out of most drafts with that league winning upside.
For me, I really like taking Jalen Reagor. I've taken a lot of Henry Ruggs, and I've taken a lot of Brandon Ayuk. Those are the rookie wide receivers that I really like relative to ADP and opportunity and talent and all that. Their price has been very, very affordable. I think that Antonio Gibson became a lot more interesting last night. We skyrocketed. To me, he was before Darius Geis, got arrested and cut. The pathway to touches outside of just manufactured stuff was not there for Antonio Gibson.
Right.
But now you pull out Kelvin Harmon and you pull out Darius Geis. And I think that now there's a pathway for Antonio Gibson to be a player that is a featured player in the Washington offense. I've heard that Scott Turner, their new OC, absolutely loves Antonio Gibson. Ron Rivera has compared him to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. What do you think of that? What do you like?
I didn't even have him. I mean, it's all hyperbole, but
right?
it's still,
right? Like,
but it's still worth consideration. I mean, the head coach of an NFL team is saying it, and they just draft like I thought Antonio Gibson would be like a fifth or sixth round flyer in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They took him in the top 70 picks.
Yeah,
they obviously love the dude. Now he has the opportunity that I wasn't as sure about before. I bumped him up, and he's a top 80 player now in our top 150, and he is the RB 31 or 32, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a great breakdown. When you bring up Harmon, that's an interesting take. I hadn't even really thought about, but Harmon's vacated targets or vacated presence in that offense really creates space for Gibson here. And now that he's being bumped above, what do you think about Bryce Love? We talked a little bit in the intro. Do you think Bryce Love can flash in the NFL? Do you think he can make a case for himself on this roster? It's kind of a crowded running back room, but not with the most talent, like really.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know with Bryce Love. He's a total wild card. I think he's worth taking at the end of drafts because he's got upside. But he does have now, I think Gibson is certainly ahead of him. Adrian Peterson probably is ahead of him. I put Adrian Peterson into the top 150 last night. And then they also have Peyton Barber and J.D. McKissick.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of dudes that have, played in the NFL. And I don't know on Bryce Love. I think he's just a late round flyer, and, you're kind of just throwing a dart there. Yeah.
So after Devontae Adams in the first round, we'll round up some of these picks. Miles Sanders came off the board, then Josh Jacobs, followed by Kenyon Drake, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin. I snagged up Patrick Mahomes here. Kenny Golladay. Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback I'm willing to take early at all, and I've been okay with taking him in this turn. I actually did hear you mention on Establish a Run almost a dead zone in that turn, or were you talking about the other turn? I can't remember.
No, it's this turn.
Okay.
I don't like this turn. Typically,
and
talking a lot here, and not see like Leonard Fournette.
Well, I thought your take on Leonard Fournette was actually interesting in that podcast. You were basically saying, look, we don't really even know if he'll finish the season on the roster at this point. Like, he could get traded. A lot of things could happen with Fournette. They don't seem really into him all that much on the team.
Okay, I'm gonna go with I'm at the turn I started with McCaffrey. I'm gonna go with like an RB anchor approach.
Okay.
I'm not gonna take Gurley here. I'm not gonna take James Conner. I'm gonna take Travis Kelce.
Okay. Nice.
And I'm looking at Mike Evans here. Also looking at Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that would be.
Man, I mean,
it's hard to
go.
The name value alone.
With Kittle and Kelce.
Oh.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's just do it. I haven't done that this year.
Wow, look at that.
So let's do it.
Nice.
And I think the justification there for Kittle is essentially like, this is a guy, especially with the injury to Debo, like he's pretty much rolling out of bed with 25% of the market share.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
oh man.
So,
I think that him and Garoppolo are gonna crush to open the year. Their schedule is so soft. It just looks like a schedule that George Kittle is just gonna absolutely rip apart to begin the season. Get you off to a hot start. That's what I'm looking for. Kittle will be my flex. Travis Kelce will be my tight end.
And that's totally a great thing. Like Travis was saying, like the target market share for those guys is a wide receiver target market share. So you are okay doing that. And not only that, but you are now taking a monster position off of the board away from another team, which is very interesting and probably not a strategy that is heavily talked about, but I love that strategy because
especially
it
tight
really
end.
works.
Like tight end is such a place where you want to get that positional advantage, and if you get it twice, like essentially you just did because you're throwing them in your flex. That's
one thing that Levitan and I definitely agree on this year is that we don't like drafting tight ends in that sort of middle tier where it is like Higbee and Gronkowski and even Jared Cook, Austin Hooper, those guys. We either want an elite tight end or we're just going to wait and we're going to take like Gesicki and
Noah
Hurts
Fant
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love
but
that
in
strategy.
this case, we're going really heavy on the high quality tight ends.
So, yeah, right before you took Kelsey, we had Kenny Golladay come off, then Leonard Fournette. We talked a little bit about that. You took Travis Kelce and Kittle back-to-back. Then we had Lamar Jackson. You were considering him. Johnny took him there at the 2. Mike Evans. I took Adam Thielen, OBJ, then Chris Carson. Johnny, you snag up Lamar because Evan incepted you a little bit there?
No, actually, I did the opposite there. I was promoting. I wanted him to take the double tight end because I wanted Lamar Jackson for myself.
Oh, you got him.
And so that was why I put my 2 cents in there. I needed to get another big elite position with taking Leonard Fournette in that second pick.
Well, Johnny, you should have used a little game theory here. You knew that I was not going to take Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
So you should have known that he would have been there at 3-2.
No, right. Well, because what I originally was going, I thought you were going to take Lamar Jackson. And so I wanted to hedge my bet a little bit because I was going to go with David Johnson as my second one, but I'm not sure what your feelings are on David Johnson. And so I was kind of playing it there. I wanted to make sure that I got a running back to give me more options in this third round.
I should have shared the Establish the Run podcast because it was the one on busts.
You
would have known as.
And I have no disrespect to you, Evan, but I am a fan of Leonard Fournette this year because I think that people are going a little too much, and I understand, like, yeah, he could get traded, but there's also a reality that he plays really well because he wants another contract for another team, and so he goes out and like like Chris Thompson. I'm guilty as charged as well because I said, oh well, Chris Thompson's going to take the pass catching work. And there is a very big reality that, like, Chris Thompson plays 2 games, and then all that passing work goes back to Leonard Fournette, and then all of a sudden he is a back-end RB1 because now he has all that passing work available to him. And so I just think it's worth it for Leonard Fournette. I think he's a good running back.
All
right, so after
the NFL and I do not think he's a good running back.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah, I side more on the Evan side, but I understand, like, everybody's a
volume play,
yeah,
dude.
that's it.
Yeah,
I get it. I just don't have confidence that the volume is actually going to be there.
Well, and, like, let's look at the quality of the volume. Like, the targets he was getting, sure, he got 100 targets last year, but they were crap targets. Like, they weren't good. And so we'll just see. Like,
we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. So Adam Thielen I took. Then OBJ came off the board. Chris Carson, Todd Gurley, Allen Robinson, DJ Moore, Juju, who I was considering over Adam Thielen, but since we're in full point PPR, I went with Adam Thielen here. Even though Juju's going to slide back into the slot, it sounds like this year. So I'm got buyer's remorse a little bit. But Juju Smith-Schuster went there. Then Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, David Johnson, Robert Woods, then Le'Veon Bell, followed by Keenan Allen.
I do want to say real quick, Travis, we want to Stepmom Lauren is in our chat now. We appreciate everyone in the chat.
Yeah, give us a like on that chat.
If you could drop us a big thumbs up, it would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, so we've got the chat rolling here, and Evan, we just want to thank you again, man, for coming on here. It's big ups,
Thanks
man.
For having me,
yeah,
guys.
Appreciate it. We're planning on doing this every year, and would love to just keep putting more and more hosts on this thing, and just rocking each year and kicking off the end of the off season, so to speak. Even though we've got a little bit of a weird off season this one, but we love the community building.
What
here.
other analysts did you get? Did you get to come on?
Yeah, so right after you, we've got Adam Rank from NFL Network, along with
Nice.
Stepmom Lauren there. Your guy from Football Guys, Sigmund Bloom, will be closing us out,
Excellent.
so he'll be at the back end of this. We've got Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show, big presence on Instagram, will be up in here. And Liz Loza from Yahoo is going to be on tonight with us at the 10 p.m. Pacific slot. So
Nice lineup.
yeah,
Good
so
job,
yeah,
guys.
we did pretty well for ourselves this year. We're excited, and then just keep growing that each and every year. It will be a lot of fun. Evan, did want to ask you, as we were on the subject of you coming on here, a couple years ago we started this thing and we tweeted at you what we could do to kind of make a name for ourselves. You just said outwork everyone. I appreciate that tweet still, and I take it to heart. But I kind of wanted to ask you what got you started in fantasy football, kind of what got you going.
Deciding that well, planning to go to law school and then deciding that I never wanted to go to school and get up at 8:00 a.m. to walk to class again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Been there.
Yeah, well, I could tell you like your sleep because you DM'd me this morning about the time, confirming the time, and you're like, okay, good, I get to go back to bed for a little bit.
But then I agreed to go to the freaking store with my neighbor. But yeah, no. And also just loving Roto World. Like I loved Roto World when I was in college. Like I would go to the library. I wouldn't study. I would just be on Roto World, checking all my fantasy teams and checking, using the search engine to check all the notes on the players, and just absolutely fell in love with Roto World, and, offered to work for free. And I did work for free for like 6 months. And then they gave me, $500 a week. And I thought I was rich. And I moved to Chicago, and I, ate hot dogs and drank water. That was all my meals. And
now entered hot dog eating contest.
You don't dip your hot dog buns in the water, do you?
No.
Okay,
no,
good.
I would
good.
just eat it like plain hot dogs. I
wouldn't. Oh man.
Oh really? That was real hardcore.
That's got to be worse than like ramen, or like when you just eat the ramen raw. You're just like munching on the ramen packet. Oh, that's fun.
All right, it's coming up. Yeah. Johnny is up here.
So we weren't gonna pick right next to you, but then we thought it'd be fun just group us all at the front here and just go after each other. So yeah, after Keenan Allen went James Conner, Melvin Gordon, then AJ Brown, followed by Cooper Kupp. I took Terry McLaurin. Was looking at DJ Shark a little bit too, but I like Terry McLaurin. He's set up to be the true number one over there, and PFF has him as one of the top 5 graded wide receivers in their rookie season that they've ever had. So I'm really excited about Terry McLaurin's outlook for this year. Just really stoked on him. Mark Ingram was taken by our guy Austin. He helps us out here. He's part of the brand. Austin is drafting at that 3 spot. Appreciate you being in here, brother.
Are you shitting me, Johnny?
Yeah.
I was gonna take DJ Shark.
Hey, I want to say I want to thank you because
this is the Jaguar to draft, not Leonard Fournette.
Hey,
DJ Shark on the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Hey, I
take the receiver who's going to get 150 targets. Complete snipe.
Hey, I did that on purpose. I want to thank you because it was early.
You're not welcome.
Hey, it was early, and then you called me out on my last turn. So what I did was I'm about to get the second guy I wanted. I was going to draft him here in the 4th, but then I looked and I saw what you had.
The student has become the master.
Yeah, and so so you only have yourself to blame for that one. So you can thank yourself.
Wow!
Shots fired.
Bring on the guest and just
we're only in round 5, Johnny. Relax. We got 8 more.
Right, I'm going to double up here on Seahawks receivers, taking Tyler Lockett
both of
and DK
them.
Metcalf. Johnny, if you take Russell Wilson.
I'm not taking Russell. So it worked. So
to pair him up with Lamar.
So no, but what I wanted
QB,
to, it's not 2 QB. But what I did want to do. So there's my explanation. I was going to take Mark Andrews because I want the double dip. But I noticed you had 2 tight ends, and I didn't think you would take a 3rd tight end. So I waited and grabbed DJ Chark because I was going to wait till this 502 spot to take DJ Chark. But then Travis had opened his mouth about DJ Chark, and I was like, oh, now the cat's out of the bag.
I was highly considering him there. I probably shouldn't have opened my mouth, but no, there was no way he makes it through both of you guys.
Well, now you got a little Jaguar stack working. You got to take Minshew as your QB2 and the 13.
Yeah, there you go.
Minshew hat. I got to show Evan this. Speaking of Minshew, even though he's on that, I just got the new swag, dude. The Minshew hat. Yeah.
Yeah, Evan's not impressed, dude.
I wasn't looking at the
no,
there.
it's
Yeah. Oh, that's nice, man. Nice.
Swag. I don't know if he'll get drafted at all.
Silva, one thing I did want to kind of mention that when you were talking about just outworking yourself, outworking everyone, and working for free, and to get your foot in the door, and I think that is a huge point that definitely needs to be made for anyone following their dream, and we were kind of like you, we loved talking fantasy football in college, and same thing. It was just like, oh, well, why not give this a try? And so we greatly appreciate your advice, and I think that
and whenever that subject comes up, like it'll come up every now and again, like, oh, should you ever work for free? I'm completely on the side of the people that I mean, if you really want to do something, like you have to pay your freaking dues.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
you don't
right.
just jump right into making, even like 60 grand a year being a
Right.
fantasy analyst. Like, you're going to have to grind for a while.
Well, what I find is,
and that's not necessarily the way that it should be, but it, and I think it's getting better. Actually, I think that the fantasy industry, the content creators are starting to take over a little bit. And that's a great thing. That's the best thing for the industry. The COVID has slowed that down, unfortunately, a little bit this year, because you saw a lot of businesses popping up this year. And man, I was really, really excited for all of them. I don't consider them competition. I consider them to be like on my side.
Yeah,
I think that it's sort of the content creator, the businesses that are going to be more run by the content creators versus the corporations that, put the guys together for, they don't pay very much. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So I love, seeing all those businesses pop up, and hopefully they can make it through, which probably not going to be as profitable of a year as it would have been. Certainly not as profitable a year as it would have been, but
an opportunity nonetheless, kind of what you've been saying, like an opportunity to really grind and put it forth this year.
Yes,
and get
absolutely.
creative.
So put out the, just don't, you can't slack at all. Like, you got to hit it as hard as you possibly can this year. And I think on the back end, like it will, you'll get paid back for your hard work.
Well, I think it's like, way I like to look at it, I think it's interesting is if people go to school, right? And then they have to pay for these internships. Like, they have to pay people to go work for them to get experience. And it's like, when you look at it like that, I think you change your perspective, right? Because it's like, okay, what's the difference of paying to go learn about something or working for free? You're doing the same thing. It's just your perspective on how
Honestly,
you look
you're saving
at it.
the money.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're saving the money.
in,
Yeah. So I just think it's the mentality that you got.
Love that. Love how we're rocking here. Love the vibes right now. So after I took Terry McLaurin, Mark Ingram came off the board, then DJ Shark, obviously the back-to-back Seattle wide receivers for Silva, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Johnny took Mark Andrews, friend of the show, Mark Andrews. David Montgomery, Kareem Hunt, I took in the 5th round. Then Jonathan Taylor, Raheem Mostert, Russell Wilson got snagged here, Silva, probably much to your chagrin. Zach Ertz, Cortland Sutton, then Devin Singletary, followed by Devon.
Somebody took Russell Wilson in the 5th round,
that's
just to spite me.
Yeah, well, they.
It was Landon too.
Funny?
It was Landon from the Snap Football.
No, it's Brandon. It's Brandon.
Oh, it's
Stan.
Brandon.
And it's funny because everything you've said, he's capitalized on. You said the CEH thing in the top 7 picks. He took CEH top 7 picks, and then he followed you up with the Russell Wilson snipe. He's just playing to the host here. Zach Ertz came off the board, then Cortland Sutton, Devin Singletary, Devontae Parker, T.Y. Hilton, and Stephon Diggs. I want to ask you, Evan, about Devin Singletary. We've debated between Johnny and I quite a bit on Zach Moss's upside, just because he to me, he projects as more of the complete back, and Devin Singletary just doesn't seem like they've ever really wanted to commit to Devin Singletary as the full guy. So how are you feeling on that Buffalo backfield?
The biggest concern is that Josh Allen takes sort of like Cam Newton, back in the day. Like, Jonathan Stewart would have some big rushing years and he'd score like 4 or 5 touchdowns and people would be pissed, he's a bust.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to consider the circumstance. Josh Allen has 15 rushing touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. And I mean, he's an excellent goal line runner. Adam Levitan really, really likes Zach Moss. So does Pat Kerrane, our dynasty guy. I can't really see the path to upside. I think that all these guys are going to end up like working against each other. It's not going to be a super high scoring offense. It's going to be a very balanced team. They've got a really good defense.
So you've been kind of fading them both a little bit?
Really, even for Singletary either. I think that Singletary has very, very limited upside as well.
Yeah, I could see that. I also wanted to ask you the same kind of question. I mean, it's probably a little bit different, but with the Tampa Bay wide receivers, I've been finding myself, and I think Johnny may be on the same page, like fading both of them a little bit more. Because do we really know that it's going to be Godwin or Evans? And do we think the offense is going to be as pass happy as it was with Jameis Winston? I would love to hear your thoughts on that, the wide receivers in Tampa.
It's not going to be nearly as pass heavy. I think it's going to be a defense ball control team, defense oriented ball control team. Their defense is freaking loaded.
Yeah, their defense is really good.
I just did a defense special teams article for our draft kit, which by the way costs $35, but then you get a $25 credit to FFPCs. It really only costs you $10 at the end of the day.
Where do you get that? You want to let people
establishtheRun.com.
All right.
But I have the Bucks as the number 4 overall fantasy defense. But I think that the Bucks are going to score a lot of touchdowns, and I think that they're going to have like a lot of really good field position. They're not going to give the ball to the other team 40 times like they did last year, and they're just going to live in the opposing red zone. I mean, I like, for that reason, I like Matt Gay as a kicker. If you want to boil it down that far, I boosted up Gronkowski recently because I think he's just going to be in position to get a lot of red zone targets. Mike Evans can make up for whatever he can't get, vertically. Also from Tom Brady at age 43 in the red zone as well. Godwin can win there. I think they're going to score a lot of touchdowns. We've actually had this debate at Establish the Run. It's been mostly me, Levitan, and Michael Leone, who's a projections guy, and the stat projections guy. And the stat projections guy really, really likes the Bucks offense. So, I mean, that should tell you something. And Leone's really, really good at this.
Well, okay. So there's going to be plenty to eat is basically what you think here. And so I was just concerned, like, you'll be ending up not taking the right guy, and I know. That's
in play. That's in play. All right, I'm taking Will Fuller here.
No, are you kidding me? I thought for sure he was going to fall to me.
Got to know the room, Johnny. Got to know the room.
Oh, that's who I thought you might talk about. I guess it's not really a dark horse. But I thought you might bring up Will Fuller as one of those league winner guys because I just feel like he's sitting there waiting to just pop
Give
the
me
lid
14
off.
games of Will Fuller.
Oh, God. We've been praying for that as an industry, have we not?
This is unbelievable right now.
And that's the thing, too, is everybody says, okay, what about a full season? You don't even need a full season of Fuller. Like you said, 14, 13, like give me 12 games even, and I'd be like, okay.
Well, I made this argument.
I'm taking Antonio Gibson as my second pick here. He's going to be my RB2 for now.
I think that's fair. Capitalizing
on that. Very aggressive, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean that's why we do it, right? Mocking it up. Okay, so let's just back up and tell a little picks here. We had Ronald Jones come off the board in the 5th or in the 6th round, 6-5. Then Marquise Brown, Darren Waller, Cam Akers, James White is who I took as my 3rd running back. Kyler Murray, followed by DeAndre Swift, Will Fuller, Antonio Gibson, Michael Gallup. Dang it, Johnny. Come on, man.
Well, I had to blame Silva for that because Silva took Will Fuller.
Love the Gallup pick there, Johnny. Really,
that is a good pick.
I just think like the seasons between Cooper and Gallup were so identical, and then Cooper's going so much farther up the board. Like just smash Gallup and punt Cooper, in my opinion. But
Gallup was 6th in the NFL in receiving yards per game last year.
Yeah, and that's And he's just getting. I don't know. People just love it's probably the CeeDee Lamb too. Like CeeDee Lamb getting drafted.
Honestly, I can honestly see the end goal for Dallas, or 2 or 3 years from now, like their goal would be Gallup and CeeDee as their future wide receiver core. I think that they're going to let go of Amari after a couple of years.
They just gave Amari Cooper 5 years and $100 million.
I know, but they didn't think that CeeDee Lamb was going to fall to him at 16 in the draft. So now they can cut that cap space. Now you just they're going to pay Dak like $50 million a year probably now because the market just keeps going up. And so they're going to have to create cap space somewhere, and they have an out in Amari Cooper's contract after next year. And so for me, I think that Michael Gallup is going to be cheaper because, like you said, I mean, the stats show that Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper are very comparable. And then you've got this alpha CeeDee Lamb that can take over for Amari Cooper, and you can cut out that contract. So I just think from a football financial standpoint, that's going to be where they're going to be headed. But I'm not a GM of an NFL team, and I've been quoted on Twitter saying I don't want to be one.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, I said I couldn't be one because I like to trade too much. So I couldn't be a GM of an actual NFL team because I would be trading players like every week.
Well, no team has made more trades over the past decade than the Patriots. So there must be something to that idea of trading a lot.
Yeah, now Bill O'Brien thinks, he's Bill Belichick Jr., so he's just going to try it as well. Oh man. So I took
nobody has provided the rest of the league with more talent than Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, I am
for
very
cheaper.
grateful as a Cardinals fan, as an Arizona fan. We don't get lucky very often, so I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after Gallup came Tariq Cohen. I took Tyler Boyd with my 7.4 pick. Then we had Evan Ingram, Deontay Johnson, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, Hayden Hurst, little mini run at tight end there, Deshaun Watson, and now we have the 11th spot on the clock.
Silva, I did want to ask you, because I'm sure our listeners want to know, what was your thought? So you took Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Now the major thing that you would hear in the industry is you are limiting your upside by taking two guys on the same team. What would you say to that, and kind of defending why you went back-to-back Seattle wide receivers here?
It's just not true. I mean, the target distribution is going to be very, very narrow in that pass catcher core. I realize they got Greg Olsen. He's like 100 years old. Their running back, Carson, was more involved in the passing game than usual last year, but he's still not like a big-time receiving back. And Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson have the best on-field chemistry, maybe, top three up there with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. Their on-field chemistry is just unflappable. And then DK Metcalf, led was top three among wide receivers in end zone targets last year, and literally got better every single week. So no, it's like,
and both of these guys are getting
people
over.
Have a problem with taking Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley together last year? No. Did people have a problem with taking Mike Evans and Chris Godwin last year? I mean, Evans got hurt a little bit.
Well, but you're also talking about teams that were top five in pass
attempts.
attempts.
You can still start those guys together every single week. So no, I think that in certain situations, I understand that, especially. If they were both going in the first 4 rounds, or if they were running backs and you were drafting, let's say Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt or something, I can see how that would limit your upside. But in this situation, no. I mean, these guys have week winning upside every single week. Usually, I mean, they can have big games together, number one, in the same week. They also typically at least one of them is going to have a big week, and then the other guy, you just sort of try to ride it out with them. But no, I'm never I'll take Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley on the same team. The target distribution is going to be narrow on these teams, and they have that in Seattle. And Rich Rebar just did a great podcast for Sharp Football, talking about how undervalued these Seahawks receivers really are because of how their quarterback plays. Because Russell Wilson throws the ball deep, and he throws the ball into the end zone at one of the highest rates of any quarterback in football. And so therefore the targets that go to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are significantly more valuable than other receivers' targets.
Yeah, he's just we haven't seen anybody like him. We kept saying, for years we've been saying, the efficiency's too high. The efficiency's too high. This is just who he is. He's going to do this. He's going to be efficient. I love those takes there. Johnny, I think we've got the time situation working against us a little bit here. Can we change the timer to 30 seconds? I'd like to up the timing.
We'd have to pause it. Yeah, I'll do it after the.
When my pick comes up, we'll just pause it, and we're just going to up the timer a little bit, Silva, just because we're running a little bit behind on schedule. If that's good with you, we just had an auto draft anyway, so
you can blame my neighbor for why.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to pause the draft and do 30 seconds.
Up this to 30 seconds. We're not too far off, but rank coming on after it's got a little bit of a time limit, so we want to make sure get everybody in and rocking and rolling and doing the thing.
All right, resume drafts.
Perfect. So I am going to take a shot here.
All right. So we had a run on running backs here, and Travis, you do not have a tight end. Are you thinking about going tight end here, or are you going?
Jarvis Landry here, just for some more wide receiver depth, and also a guy that's going to be a PPR monster. Although I am a little bit concerned about Kareem Hunt taking from Jarvis Landry's target share. We saw a little bit of that when Kareem Hunt came back from suspension. but it sounds like they might be able to both eat here from what we're saying out of some of the coach speak coming out of there. So just to back it up a little bit, go through some of the picks. We have Brandon Cooks that came off the board at 8-2, then Zach Moss, Phillip Lindsay, Jordan Howard, Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, Drew Brees. I took Jarvis Landry. Austin took Marvin Jones. Johnny with Darius Slayton, and Evan with Jamison Crowder. PPR, you've gotta love that pick there, Evan.
Yeah.
Then Marlon Mack.
I'm gonna go take a bathroom break for like a couple seconds.
Yeah,
All right,
no
no
worries.
worries.
So Marlon Mack came off the board, then Christian Kirk, and we have.
Do you want to
Austin
mention
on the
if we have 36 people watching this video right now, but we only have 20 likes? If we got to get those likes up. If we could get 36 likes right now, come on, Whisper Nation. I know we could do it if you just click that thumbs up button. It would greatly help out this stream and help out our channel. We greatly appreciate it. All right, Travis, you're up here.
All right, sounds good.
So I take Darius Slayton, and then I take Christian Kirk after Silva went Crowder and Marlon Mack.
I'm going to take Chase Edmonds here.
Oh,
I'm just going to
wow.
continue to try and take some pieces that have upside, especially in a PPR. I love the upside that's there.
Is this? I think 71. I know, I saw it.
So we've got Tyler Higbee come off the board. Then I took Chase Edmonds. So really want to just thank Evan Silva again for coming on here. I know he's taking the bathroom break, so hope it's working out for him. But want to thank everybody in the chat right now. And if you want to get in on those jersey and draft kit giveaways, make sure you are typing in TFW in all caps there in the chat right now. That will get you entered. You want to talk about the giveaways, Johnny?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So we are giving away a T.Y. Hilton jersey, a Kenny G signed jersey. These are all signed. Kenny G, T.Y. Hilton, a Darius Slayton signed jersey, as well as a signed Alvin Kamara jersey. We are giving away all of those, as well as draft kits.
Draft kits.
Thank you. I'm like stumbling through my words right now. We just comment TFW, and you have to make sure you're subscribed to our channel. If you do that, then you will be registered to win those jerseys or any of the draft or any of the prizes that we're giving away. So we got a bunch of quarterbacks coming off here. Travis, Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, then Henry Ruggs, who we are very, very bullish on, followed by Aaron Rodgers, Latavius Murray, Mecole Hardman, TJ Hawkinson, and then CeeDee Lamb. We are entering the 10th round of this mock draft. We have 3 rounds left here. Sterling Shepard was taken first pick in the 10th round. Silva, what are your opinions on the wide receivers for the New York Giants? Darius Slayton showed some high upside last year. You had Sterling Shepard, who kind of should, in theory, take over as the wide receiver 1 there. He has had some solid games. How do you feel about that wide receiver core in New York?
Well, first of all, it's going to be tough to utilize them within the first 3 weeks because they have like the worst schedule you could ever even dream up in weeks 1 through 3. And I think the passing game is just going to struggle. It's going to be like, Danny Jones is throwing for 180 yards, a game in those first 3, and it's going to be tough. There's not going to be a lot of production, I think, to be distributed. I like Golden Tate the best. First of all, he's the cheapest among the Giants wide receivers. Second of all, he was good after he came back from suspension last year. He had some spiked weeks. He had pretty good consistency. And again, he's the cheapest. Darius Slayton is definitely the sexiest because he's the new guy and he showed that, big time upside. He also benefited from Sterling Shepard missing time, Evan Ingram missing time. And I mean, I like him fine. I never get him because he goes like 2 rounds earlier than I would be willing to take him.
Mm-hmm.
Sterling Shepard has the injury concern. He's had 3 concussions within the last 2 seasons, including the 2018 preseason. And that there's some risk there with him, but I think he's solid. I've taken him a couple times. I don't love taking him, but I've taken him a couple times. But Golden Tate is the guy that I've been getting actually a lot of, especially recently.
We had in this round Sterling Shepard, Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki, Dallas Goedert, Emmanuel Sanders, Jalen Reagor, Alexander Madison, Darius Geis. I took Jonnu Smith as my tight end here in the 10th. And Keel Harry comes off the board by Austin. Johnny's on the clock. He takes Anthony Miller, one of his favorite guys this year, especially with Nick Foles coming in. Johnny, big fan of Johnny, a big fan of
Anthony Miller.
Yeah, Anthony Miller. Just said his name. Jeez.
Yeah, I am. I think that the talent is there. You've seen it. You've seen what he can do out of that slot role there. Big fan of Allen Robinson. Now you got me talking all crazy over here with players' names. But I just believe in Anthony Miller. I liked him coming out of college, and you've seen it. You've seen flashes on the field. If he could just be consistent, then Carson Wentz.
Did I just time out?
Yeah, it's okay.
Johnny
I
says
like
it's
it.
okay.
I like it because you didn't take my.
All right, whatever.
Carson. Well, here's the thing. I will say Carson Wentz. I think people are sleeping on Carson Wentz because this guy is a good quarterback, and we just haven't seen him with a lot of weapons. Like his weapons always get injured, but he gets it in Jalen Reagor. I think will significantly benefit him. A full year of Miles Sanders. That offensive line should be solid now that they have Peters filling in at the guard position. Like that's awesome.
Yep.
I just took Cam Newton. I already had Patrick Mahomes. I am all over the place.
Yeah, that looks hideous.
Yeah.
Although I do like Cam Newton this year. But not after you take Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, no. So Daryl Henderson came.
I think it's a mock draft.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We got Evan timing out. I took Cam Newton. That's cool. We'll be rocking and rolling here.
I was trying to decide between Brandon Ayuk, Deshaun Jackson, and John Brown at that pick, and I just took too long because we went to the 30-second timer. I couldn't decide, so I got auto drafted Carson Wentz, but he's my quarterback 1, and I feel fine about that.
Yeah. That's a good auto draft, if anything. At least, I've had some really bad auto drafts, and I just get real down.
Evan, I just got one final question for you. I wanted to ask kind of your thoughts on the whole mock draft marathon we're doing here. When I know we approached you, it piqued your interest to get you to hop on here, but you ever seen anything like it? Kind of what your thoughts on 24 straight hours of this?
You guys are trying to get in the Guinness Book of World Records, right?
Yeah, we're pushing for that. 24 straight hours. We did it
Awesome.
last year. Weren't able to get in the record book. We didn't get it submitted, but we're pushing for that this year for sure.
Sweet. I hope you guys do that. No, it's a great idea. It's fun just to come on here and talk ball with you guys. And it was smart to delete out kickers and defense and make it a 13-round draft because then you can be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I love the concept. I think it's a great idea, and I hope you guys do get in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Heck yeah. Appreciate that. So we got Sony Michel came off the board, then Mike Williams, Jared Cook. Oh, I should have took Mike Williams. Keyshawn Vaughn, then Brandon Ayuk, followed by Matt Stafford, Damian Harris, W. Bass on the clock. We just got 2 more rounds, and then we'll be able to push this to the next hour. I know we've got Adam Rank and Stepmom Lauren patiently waiting in the chat here. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate you waiting. Evan Silva appreciates it with his neighbor who kept him at the store a little bit longer than he liked, but hey, that guy got his groceries, and that's what matters, man. We're feeding the old.
Got his groceries for like a month for $59.
Yeah. Evan Silva still blown away by the price of his grocery list. You're like, man, I actually do have to go shopping with you more often.
Yeah.
I need to figure this
Yeah,
out.
I gotta learn your ways.
He's like, I used to spend more than $56 on hot dogs back in the day. Like, how is this even possible? So, do you want to? What are some real late round guys that you were just absolutely finding yourself drafting over and over again?
Carson
guys?
Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. In the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th round. You mentioned Rieger was one of your guys. Brandon Ayuk was another guy.
Ayuk, Ruggs. I would say, let me look at, and Steven Sims is a guy that I like to take real late. I like Garoppolo a lot.
Do you?
Yes,
because of that opening schedule.
Hey, Silva, I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds hideous.
Well, I mean,
he's anything but hideous.
No,
it's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
he's a beautiful.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
With a beautiful schedule.
Yes.
Yeah, but here's the
schedule. I mean, I wouldn't even say that the Debo, and I love Debo Samuel. I was going to be really high on him this year. I think I had him like wide receiver 25 before he got hurt. But him, if 33% of the targets that were going to go to him just now go to George Kittle, like, it's over, baby. It's over. George Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo is my favorite, just one-for-one quarterback pass catcher stack of the year. Kittle is expensive, but he's doable in the second round. You can get him almost every time in the second round, even in some tight end premium leagues. And then no one wants Garoppolo. And I think that it's a mistake. I mean, last year he was super, super efficient. They just didn't have the pass volume last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think their defense is going to be considerably worse. They traded away DeForest Buckner. They lost their DBs coach, Joe Woods, who went and became the Browns defensive coordinator. Their secondary is hanging by a thread. You look at the opening schedule. Jimmy Garoppolo has the most quarterback-friendly opening schedule in weeks 1 through 6 of any quarterback in football. And you know that the efficiency is going to be there. He just needs a little bump in volume, and I think he's going to get it. And this is also just his second full season under Kyle Shanahan. In the first one, they went to the freaking Super Bowl. And in large part because of his efficiency, I think you're going to see a lot more confident Jimmy Garoppolo this year. And I'm really excited about him. I like him as an MVP long shot too. I think he's at 40-1. I like him as an MVP long shot.
MVP long shot.
Oh man,
that's heavy.
Silva, really? You had to snipe my guy in the
really.
12th round?
Really.
In the 12th round?
Payback's coming.
Like my finger was already on the ad
It's a lot easier
button.
to get sniped in round 12 than it is when you did it to me in like the 4th. Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, we're in the final round here. I'll just do a recap of the 11th or the 12th. Duke Johnson, Ben Roethlisberger, Jerry Jeudy, John Brown, Daniel Jones, Alan Lazard, Boston Scotty, Sammy Watkins. I took LaShawn McCoy in the 12th. I don't imagine his ADP stays there, but I think he's a great steal in the 12th here. Rashad Perriman, Antonio Brown, Tony Pollard, and Golden Tate. Tony Pollard and Golden Tate back-to-back. I was actually looking at Pollard or McCoy, so I like that. Then A.J. Dillon, Tyrell Williams, and now I'm back on the clock here. Take Justin Jefferson. Kind of a hedge to my Adam Thielen pick in this third round, just in case anything were to happen to Thielen, and Jefferson should have a role right away anyways, regardless of Thielen's health too. All right, well, wrapping this up right now, rolling through it.
Adam Rank is coming on.
Yeah.
Next.
Yep.
All right, cool.
And we're gonna have Adam Rank on next.
He's a great personality. He'll be it'll be a fun time with him.
Yeah, we're excited.
Excited. Hopefully he's bared with us here. We had to push him back just a little bit, but we're excited to get him on here, and we will be rocking and rolling through that draft. Evan, we would just say thanks again, man, for this. Appreciate it, and can't wait to keep working with you going forward. And we'll be
again next year. Absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
All right, fellas, take it easy.
You too.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
We're just going to be wrapping up this mock draft here, and then we will be going right into the next draft board here.
All right, Stepmom Lauren.
What
Are you there?
up?
Can you hear?
Hey.
Yeah, welcome in.
Yay.
Hi. Hey, sorry, I need to fix my microphone.
No worries.
Oh, just do your thing.
We just have this last one wrapping up, couple last picks, and then we're good to go. Get into the chair.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.